Welcome to the third and final part of our tips for first time international visitors to Kruger National Park, South Africa. In parts 1 and 2, we covered car or internal flights, hire car checks, indemnity form, wildcard, when is best, travel light, taking the obvious, malaria, let there be light, lens wipe, Stanley, credit card or cash, know your camera, pictures or videos, reference apps and booklets, research, 8 before light speed. In this edition of the trilogy, we cover fuel costs and how much you will use, ablutions in the bush, trees and flowers, birds and bird watching, picnic sites, sightings etiquette, sightings board, some things you never say, right or wrong way to safari, Wi-Fi, embrace nocturnal sounds, and look out for the little ones too. Today, we will be leaving the Taba and making our way to our third and final camp for this trip, Satara. It would be a leisurely drive, taking both tar and sand roads. Breakfast at Satara before venturing onto S90, S41 and then S100. Finally, a few clicks on H7 before returning to camp. There would be a surprise waiting for us when we got there after a couple of days. A zebra crossing. Sorry, couldn't resist it. Fuel cost July 2026. Diesel is roughly 25 Rand per litre. That equates to about £1.12 per litre. We hire a Toyota Fortuna SUV or equivalent, and they should achieve about 30 to 35 kilometres per gallon or 9 to 14 kilometres per litre. However, we score the top end of this as you are not going at speed nor jammed up as in town and city driving. The fuel tank will hold 80 litres to 21 gallons. This will give 700 to 1000 kilometres driving range as a rule. We average roughly 250 kilometres per day depending on weather conditions, temperature and whether the majority of the routes taken were on tar or sand. Therefore, we refuel every 3 to 5 days. All main camps have petrol stations supplying petrol and diesel. There's usually an operative who will take on the role of filling your vehicle. You state how much you want. We will always say fill to the first click, please. Not always listened to because we notice on our first and subsequent fills we always get 200 to 300 kilometres range more than when we picked up the vehicle from the car hire company. We believe this is known as topping off, and it is not recommended by experts, but something beyond our control, as the operatives do what they do. Sometimes they will ask if you would like your windscreen washed, but we haven't been asked that for some time now. We usually pay by credit card, however there have been occasions when the signal had failed or there was no power, so to get filled we paid cash. It should be noted the last time we used Skakusa petrol station they only accepted credit cards. Not sure if this is more general across the park now or not. We think we know why this policy is in place at Skakusa, but a tale for another day. Having some cash just in case would be wise. And don't forget to tip the operative. We always enjoy game sightings like this one. It is that time of year when some species start to flock in large numbers, and it is spectacular. Toilets are available at all entrance gates, main and bush camps and satellite camps, picnic sites and some view sites. For the most part, they are clean and well looked after. After all, they are in the middle of nowhere. We believe they put UK and Europe's inner city loos to shame. A true tale, at one picnic site there was a notice on the ladies' toilet door asking people to keep doors closed as there was a risk of snakes. The gentlemen's ablutions door was propped open. Read into that as you will. You should never alight from your vehicle, so what do you do if caught short? It happens. You are encouraged to keep hydrated. This has side effects. There can be considerable distances between ablution facilities. Never walk into the bush for privacy. That would be stupid. Some say it would be natural selection at work. If caught short, remember this: safety over privacy, and never stop being aware of your surroundings. Apparently, this is the most photographed bird in South Africa. They used to be indecisive, but now they're not quite so sure. Time for breakfast and catch up with bats.
Sail away speeding, lost in a dreaming, reverie keeping a world of your own. The sun in the morning.
Sharon here is pointing to the Star office where we will be checking in later. If you go to the Kruger to tick some bucket list box, then you will not truly see the Kruger. Just about all of the people we have met in the Kruger, no matter their nationality, all share one thing in common. They are there to breathe in everything the Kruger has to offer, flora and fauna. The Kruger National Park is huge, the size of Wales in the UK or Israel. There will be quiet moments when game sightings are few or absent altogether. When we say moments, we mean an hour or two, and this is understandable. We have heard it said animals in some regions of the park will never see a human. You can fill in these quiet moments with bird watching. There are always birds. There are also trees and flowers. Trying to ID the flora is a great way of filling in the quieter moments, expanding your knowledge base and truly absorbing the Kruger. We find it interesting to discover what medical qualities the bush has to offer and how they were used. There are plenty of apps and books available to assist with identifying.
Everything we've come to know. You're giving me eyes to see all of these beautiful things through the blue and gray. We're in a golden age. Out on a limb we
A first for us, greater painted snake. How magical is this?
Renewing hope, a star in the evening, golden and gleaming, all in a moment we owe. Everything we've come to know. You're giving me eyes to see
Following on from our encouragement by identifying the flora, bird watching and identifying birds is another great way of filling in the quieter moments. The park boasts some 500 plus species throughout the year. Some are migratory. Bird variety and numbers are mega. You will soon learn the different bird families from the length of their legs, bills, habitat, food and feeding methods. Therefore, honing in on a species gets easier and quicker with practice. Regions like Pundamarie and Pafuri in the far north are famous for rare specials, while camps like Lower Savi and Pretoriuscop offer great year-round viewing. A vehicle parked up usually attracts others, as everybody assumes they have spotted a great sighting. Some birders put up a sign in their vehicle to let others know they are watching birds and not, say, a leopard. But are they? Who knows? You will have to decide in the moment. The big six birds feature special prominent large species like the bachelor, martial eagle, saddlebill stork, Corey bustard, lappet-faced vulture and southern ground hornbill. Time for bed, said Zebedee. Very wet this morning. The rain can make for difficult game viewing. We will hit the H7 and various sand roads and see what happens. There has been some recent wildfires in the area.
We were holding nothing back from the greatest nights we ever had. The sun lit up the boulevard, driving slow, dancing in your car, singing along every night. Played that song 100 times.
Picnic sites are what they say they are, picnic sites. Most are not fenced, so stay alert. Some provide hot and cold food. They are all in wonderful settings. South Africans are experts at outdoor living and their brides always smell amazing. They have an added advantage in that most have outdoor cookware with them. International visitors do not, difficult to get pots and pans and utensils in the suitcase or duffel. You can hire scottles at some picnic sites. South Africans use picnic sites to their fullest. We use them as somewhere to stretch our legs and use the facilities. You can buy sandwiches, snacks, drinks and like at camp shops, transport to picnic sites using a cool box and picnic at your leisure. Picnic sites are fantastic facilities. You use them as you see fit. We believe they are too good not to.
Made our own fire, we were lighter in the summer breeze.
Back for breakfast?
In your bedroom, like the 70s, always on my mind. You and the music on my mind, frozen in time, always on my mind. I feel it.
In the afternoon it rained quite heavily, so we decided to abandon the H7, return to base and enjoy some bird watching in the camp.
The ocean, so if you want it, come over, the door is open.
Still rainy. Good morning. Still very wet, so we decided to stick to H7 tar to Orphan's Gate and back. In the afternoon, if rain persists, we will repeat. You will usually have different sightings on the same stretch of road at different times of the day. A large pod of hippos is not a usual experience for us, so very exciting and so cool to see.
Tell me, do the seasons change? In your mind coming in with the rain. Tell me, does it feel like home?
Flying funeral directors.
Let it in, let it go on now. Pull it close.
Not a great view, but wild dogs all the same.
Tell me, do you stay the same? If you could just see me now, would you believe in that?
As a general guide for vehicle and sighting etiquette, South African national parks or sandparks require visitors to never get out of your vehicle during a sighting, unless you are inside a designated fenced rest camp or picnic spot. No body parts may protrude from windows or sunroofs. Park on the same side of the road as the animal sighting. Never park diagonally or block the opposing lane. The traffic lane furthest from the sighting must remain completely open and unobstructed for moving or passing vehicles. Switch off your engine to reduce noise pollution and lower stress for the animals. Wild animals always have the absolute right of way. Give them space and do not crowd, chase or try to rouse them. Everybody's experiences are different, we guess. Here are some of our experiences. Everything is wrong here. All etiquette thrown out of the window by just about everybody. South of the park can be a lottery. We prefer behaviour exhibited in the north. We have never had any problems at sightings north of Oliphants. Less people, less traffic. South of Skakusa is different. This poor quality video of wild dog pups meeting up with a pack was taken near Shinwedzi, and we had them for nearly an hour to ourselves. This sighting late afternoon near Shinwedzi was shared by about 6 vehicles, and we were all heading back to camp. The lead vehicles gestured us to move up alongside for better views and pictures. After we had banked the memories and pictures, we fell back behind and indicated to the car behind us to manoeuvre to the front for the closer experience. They did, and then repeated the gesture to the car behind them. All respected each other. We left the pups with their guardians as the remainder of the pack went off to hunt. We all went back to camp full of joy. This sighting of a lioness was on the S99 loop road near Pundamaree. A car in front of us had great views, being directly opposite the lioness on the old termite mound. After a couple of minutes happy snapping, they moved forward so we could take their place and get snapping. 2 days later we were heading south to Letaba, a few clicks on the H1-7 after leaving Pundamaree. We came across this male lion courting 2 lionesses. The people from the previous lioness sighting caught up with us whilst we had a perfect spot to drink in the sighting. We moved forward and returned the favour they had given us a couple of days earlier. If only everybody behaved this way at sightings, all would take some great pictures and memories. Here we are on the famous line road, the S100. We came across a lioness that appeared to be on sentry duty. A car coming in from the opposite direction did not have the vantage point we had, so we indicated for them to stop. Then this happened. Just magical, and only 2 cars.
Clouds breaking, the sky spilling over. I'm coming clean in the water. You were just holding out.
This is the famous white line known as Casper with a lady. S100 again, with quite a few cars at the sighting, all well behaved, and it made for a relaxing experience. Here we are on the H6 approaching a leopard sighting. We hung back and turned our engine off, but unfortunately the cars already there kept their engines on, and were forever moving to get the perfect view without colliding with one another. The leopard, we guess, got pissed off with this and promptly disappeared into the bush. This is south of the park near Lower Sabi. This sub-adult male confused everybody. Most were looking into the dry riverbed when he suddenly appeared in front of them, and then the ridiculous panic of must get a picture took over, and vehicles were all over the place. Such a sweet sighting. Mother and young un, the most respect we have ever seen. All stopped immediately and all switched off their engines immediately. You could have heard a pin drop. To this day, a tear of joy is wept every time this moment is remembered. Most of the time, sightings are chilled like this one. 5 male lions and plenty of space for 3 vehicles present, and all engines were switched off and lions relaxed, dropping in and out of sleep as usual. We have mentioned before, if a sighting is congested or the animal very difficult to see, we move on. For us, life is too short to stare blind into the bush. Failing to see something is not life-threatening, and if you are staying in the Kruger National Park for a couple of weeks or more, chances are you will have a better sighting of the same species later on. On one occasion near Lower Sabi, 2 leopard cubs ventured onto the road, very briefly then walked back into the bush. The road became jammed with cars looking for cubs, who were probably some distance away in thick cover. We doubled back and took an alternative route on a sand route, the S21. Bingo! Within 10 kilometres we came across this pack of wild dogs and had them to ourselves for 40 minutes. That's not all. A further 15 clicks or so, we stumbled upon these 2 lionesses. Leaving the jam paid dividends in buckets. Luck of the draw, we guess. Sometimes things happen so quickly there is not enough time for people to behave at all. Like here, a mother and 3 cheetahs ran out in front of us, interested in a herd of impala. The impala clocked on, snorted, and everything moved quickly on. All in less than a minute. Forever memories, no matter how brief. A wild dog sighting on the S126. Absolutely fabulous. 3 cars present and all parked respectively, and engines off.
Everything you got now, come close, you can lean on my shoulder. We're coming clean in the...
Same pack late afternoon, and an arsehole parked right in front of the sleeping pack, and apparently had not moved. This person was not going to move. You get them. Why they do it? Nobody knows. Selfish, yes. But they don't see it that way. They feel entitled. They found the sighting. No, they did not. They just stumbled upon it, like we all do from time to time. We, international visitors, pay a great deal to get here, and contribute a great deal to the economy. But all this all falls on deaf ears, and entitlement persists. Be mindful of your position. People at the sighting usually believe the more adjacent you are, the better. Not necessarily so. Some of our best shots have been a bit north or south of the scene, as here. We passed the sighting, parked, and got this picture. This young male caused quite a stir. He decided to rest on the tar H1-4 just north of Satara Rest Camp. The people's response was disgraceful. A woman even held a baby out the window so another person could take a picture of them near to the lion. Unbelievable, except it is not. We are witnessing more and more moronic behaviour. Total disrespect for the animals, others and themselves. And yes, it is always somebody else's fault if things go wrong. Entering into the realms of shameful now. Leopard up a tree with the leftovers of a kill. It was early, so no travelling circus, but the response from people who just left Sakusa main camp was at best frantic, manic and quite pathetic. The road became impassable very quickly and all rules were ignored. We were able to get a short video, although poor. U-turned and got out of there within 2 minutes of getting there. A word of caution, if you see a gap that gives an advantage point, take it. If you don't, somebody else will muscle in without a second thought. On a brief note, sightings at private lodges are more controlled. Very few vehicles at a sighting. A queuing system is invoked with the rangers managing by radio. Vehicle enters stage on the right, allows enough time for pictures and videos, exit stage left. Radio for next in line to enter the scene. Everybody wins. Nice one.
Tell me, does it like it alone? When you're left with the world all alone. Tell me, does the time slow down? Let it in, let it go on now. Feel a change to what it's all about. Tell me, does it all slow down?
Back through the gate for some brunch. Now for the surprise. We have heard there is a leopard kill stashed up a tree just the other side of the perimeter fence. Sharon went to find it, but couldn't locate it. A lady could see Sharon was looking and guessed what for. She kindly pointed Sharon in the right direction. Sharon was looking too far into the bush. It was literally just the other side of the fence.
If you could just see me now.
Would the leopard be back for the spores later that evening? We will have to wait and see.
Clouds break and the sky spilling over. I'm coming clean in the water. You were just holding out. I think that you're got it now. Go dive in and take back your power.
There are sighting boards situated in prominent positions in all rest camps and many picnic venues. This is where the public can show on a map of the region their sightings. Shown on the map by different coloured square magnetic markers. Different colour for lion, buffalo, elephant, leopard and wild dog. Rhinos are no longer shown because of poaching and the precarious position these magnificent animals now find themselves in as a result. Make no mistake, their numbers have crashed because of human ignorance and greed. We use sighting boards on occasions, especially over a couple of days on wild dog packs' direction of movement. This has proved very useful, and we have been fortuitous in catching up with wild dog packs. So much so we have had sightings on the last 12 visits, sometimes several different packs, and in one trip from Punta Marie to Sakusa we were able to record seeing 6 different packs. How cool is that? Something to mention here is sometimes take the sightings board with a pinch of salt. They do get tampered with by children. When you see multiple sightings of, say, lions or wild dogs in multiple locations near to where you have been in one morning, you know they are not accurate and should be treated as such. You will see what we mean. If it doesn't feel right, then it probably isn't. In general, they are a helpful tool and can be useful in tracking down some wonderful sightings. We stocked up on supplies and then went back out to see if we could catch up with the wild dogs. Time to greet and hunt.
If you could just see you now, you wouldn't believe it how. Clouds breaking, the sky spilling over. We're coming clean.
The obligatory hyena, as always when you see wild dogs or leopards.
For everything we got now.
Never mention location of rhino sightings for reasons already mentioned. Likewise pangolin, not that you're likely ever to see one, but you never know. Anyway, shh, mum's the word. The leopard did return. Alas, people can't control themselves, and the constant rushing to the fence scared it off. If only they had kept their distance, remained quieter, the viewing would have been so much more satisfying. However, we were serenaded by a pride of lions very close to the fence. We could listen to this all night. The pride got even closer. This is now Sharon's ringtone. Today we will be taking Sandroad to Oliphants, where we look forward to having breakfast overlooking the river. We will return via the tar road south before enjoying an afternoon drive to Moose Zandensi picnic spot and back. How to safari? Some say this, some say that. No right or wrong way really. It's all subjective and each to their own, whatever makes you comfortable. Some people say you should go slow, some say 10 kilometres under speed limit is good. The truth is, what will be will be. You can argue both sides here and vice versa. Going slow means you won't drive past something without seeing it. However, the downside would be missing a sighting up ahead because by the time you get there, the leopard is back in the bush, unable to be seen. Driving a little quicker means you cover more ground and would have seen the leopard, but you probably missed a pack of dogs that emerged behind you 5 minutes after you passed. While we're at it, remember to keep looking in the rear view and wing mirrors. You'll be surprised what can suddenly appear behind you. It is all chaos. You don't get to choose what to see and when you see it. Be happy, enjoy and live in the moment. Remember, it's your safari. You paid a lot of money for it to happen. Own it. Sharon is desperate to see otters from here one day. Wi-Fi is more available now, but only in some main camps and in certain areas only, not generally in all areas of camp. For instance, OK close to Skukuza main camp, if eating at cattle barren restaurants, same for Tindleview restaurants. The picture is improving all the time. But hey, you're in the bush. We understand the need to check in back home, however appreciate embrace your social media downtime. Back at camp, and a bachelor is helping itself to a free meal. Your safari doesn't end when you get back through the camp gates. Whether cooking for yourself or eating at a restaurant, game viewing continues in and around camp, birds, bushbuck and much more. As sunset approaches and it's quite quick to set, game viewing moves to nocturnal life. African wildcat, honey badgers, bush babies, bats, insects. Wow, the insects. They are another world. Enjoy the night sounds. You may hear elephants, lions, hyenas. Inside the camp, insects sing. They are the nocturnal orchestra, especially after a wet period. Listening is all part of the safari experience. Continue to use your audio sensors when outside the camp. Remember to switch off your engine at sightings. You will have a more fulfilling experience. Sometimes stopping, engine off and just listening will deliver additional enjoyment and memories. Sleep tight. The leopard has been back in the dead of night and not much of the impala is left now. Last day and time to head for home. A slow 90 plus kilometre drive to Skukuza rest camp and something to eat, before heading towards the airport, taking in the tar loop roads and a few sand offshoots. A quiet morning. We arrive at Skukuza in good time and enjoy a wonderful breakfast at Cattle Barren as usual. Bye bye Skukuza rest camp. Look out for the little ones too. They are easy to miss but are very much part of the safari. Chameleons, dung beetles, giant African snails, giant African millipedes, armoured ground crickets, locusts, golden orb-web spider. Check out termite mounds, they are an architectural marvel. Elephant dung is a great environment for dung beetles and butterflies. Avoid running over animal dung, you never know what is on or inside it. Slow up or stop, take a look. Long days we know, driving and probably tiring, but stay alert. Yes, large animals are about, easier to see. Little ones are about too. Not always easy to see, be aware of them. They may be in your line of sight or driving line. Be conscious of them, look out for them. Do not run them over. Thank you, Sempunks, and all in the Kruger for a fantastic time and a lifetime of forever memories. Time to head for Skakusa Airport now. Internal flight with Air Link, just under an hour to OR Tambu. Transfer to international departures, Dreamliner to Heathrow, arrive early doors, pick up car and home. Hello Willow, always good to see you, my old booty.
Thanks for watching.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye.